Hello, good evening, and welcome back to TTTV. My name is Andy Campbell, and I am standing in as lead commentator, so to speak, tonight for TTL F1 in place of Kieran, who's off this week, having a wee bit of a quiet week. Well, that's what he says anyway. So I'll be taking you through tonight's action from round 19, the Mexican Grand Prix. But I am not alone. I am joined in the commentary box for the first time, his debut commentary, by Alan Kay. Alan, how are you doing this evening, mate?
How's it going, Andy? Nice to be here.
So,
Nice to be getting into the box.
yes, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, going to be a good race, and I'll try and help you through everything of the tonight.
Thanks very much.
But
That should be
obviously,
fun. Yeah, go for it.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, but obviously, you know, you've been in the league a lot longer than me, and obviously I've been picking up on it as it goes along. So, how do you see tonight's race going around the Mexican Grand Prix circuit?
Uh, it's one of them circuits where some drivers I know in the league like it and some don't. So I think maybe sort of you're looking at Paul Squeezy, maybe Spike. I'd be looking at one of them three as a potential winner. I know in the last game Lambo wasn't too keen in Mexico, but again, that could have changed in this game. Whereas I haven't raced at Mexico with these guys yet, so this is my first time seeing these guys go around Mexico with as long as with yourself as well on this game. But I know on previous game, in the last game, Lambo didn't like Mexico, so
Yeah, it's a very interesting track. The Autodromo Herman Rodriguez. It's 2,240 feet above sea level, which is something like 7,500 feet, so 2,200 metres, sorry. But 17 turns, it's obviously been changed over the years. Used to have the Peratella last corner, banked 180-degree corner, so it's going to be interesting. Just as qualifying's loading up, I'm just going to quickly run through at least the top part of the standings, because we do have a very close battle in the championship. Lambo still leads the Drivers' Championship with 266 points. Poe is in second with 251 points. He won in America last time out as well, so that was good to see that. Spike is in third place, 234 points, and Squeezy is fourth, 213 points. So needing a lot of luck to be able to still fight for the championship here this season. There's only 2 rounds to go after this. And in the Constructors' battle, Renault are at the top on 326 points, Toro Rosso on 298, Sauber on 289, and McLaren on 271. So that's still got a wee bit to play for it as well. But it's obviously loading up to qualifying now. 18 minutes of qualifying for the drivers to try and get the car onto pole position. And I'll double check the tyres in a minute, but I do believe it's the Hyper Softs, the Ultra Softs, and the Super Softs that we have this evening.
that's correct there.
Thank you very much. Yep, perfect.
And for the game, well, what the game gives is the delta between each tyre is just over half a second, just over 4 tenths. So 1.117 gap the game gives in tyre delta between the Hyper and the Super Soft. So we could see some strategy mix up there.
Yeah, I would definitely expect, especially with the hyper softs, we've seen in the real race this year that they were going off very, very quickly during the race. So it'll be interesting to see. And just to throw another bit, the weatherman down there has just said it's dry but changeable. Yes, Maz giving us updates from the pit wall. So he says it's changeable conditions, but it will be dry, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Squeezy, the first car out on track, 4th position at the moment in the championship in the McLaren, so he will be the first one to settle up on the hyper soft tyres. It'll be interesting to see though. You can see that Lambo is not out yet, but he's just changed to hyper softs just as I started about to say he's got super softs on the car, but he's not left yet. So only Squeezy and Poe out at the moment, but I don't see it being too long before we see many more on the track. Who do you think will be up there today? Do you expect to see one of the championship protagonists taking the win once again here then, Alan?
I think so. There's no blizzard to get in the way of them this time, so it should be between them. But maybe you always have Siege, Lloydie that can cause an upset now and then. So and Jay has looked quick in a lot of his recent races. I think there's a little bit of internet has let him down. So if he's got his internet sorted, he could well challenge as well. So I think we're going to be in for a good battle here.
Yeah, definitely looks like we will be. I'm just going to jump on board with Squeezy as he comes round to start his flying lap. We're on board now and we're going to take a flying lap off the track and up to 8th gear already. DRS open. This is the fastest part of the track. Really, really long front straight. We're going to get a lot of slipstreaming and then hard on the brakes here. Around about the 75 metre point down to 3rd gear into turn 1 and then turn 2. Just got to keep it easy. Turn 3 and on the power. 2nd DRS zone. Couple of cars ahead. Hopefully it'll stay out of the way, including Sean, who has. And then on the brakes, 75 metres once again and down to 2nd gear this time. And this is a very tricky section here because it's very slow. Back on the power, lots of grandstands around as well. And then double apex right-hander for turn 6. And then we come up to the fast part of the track. Turns 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, the S's section. It's just continually building the speed. It's all about the flow through here. You want to keep it flowing nicely to get as fast an exit as possible. And then on the power up to the next turn into the stadium section, turn 12. Easy to get that one wrong, you can run wide. And then turn at 13, very slow, probably the slowest corner track. Turn 14, 15 is not even a corner. And then 16 and 17 brings you back onto the main straight. And Squeezy's going to come across. In fact, he's slowed right down. So because he's in the hypers, he's not wanting to set a quick one. But it's a 116.3.
That should be outside the top 10 with that anyway, so I don't think he'll be in any trouble starting on that side anyway.
Yeah, so we're always seeing strategy coming into it. Squeezy just backs out over the line there to avoid setting too quick a lap on those hyper soft tyres. But he's the only one to set a lap so far, so just waiting for a few more to come round. But we'll soon see some more times.
Sean looks like he might be on a lap.
Yeah, but Sean coming up towards the S's section. Z3's coming towards the stadium now. This is on the stadium section now. Obviously cuts out that fearsome Peradella corner that used to be there as the Grote. Goes fastest with a 1:14.4. That's a bit more representative. But this section here used to be a baseball ground, hence why the amphitheatre style and why they have the podium there as well. As Z3 runs wide, catching the cone on the exit at turn 17 and 18. He goes across the line to set his first lap time. No, he does not, because it looks like he must have invalidated it, so no lap time yet. But the Gort is P1 at the moment, 1:14.4. Sean 1:15.5 on the super softs. Spike, the only other driver apart from Squeezy so far to set a lap time, 1:16.1. It looks like he's either made a mistake or backed out at a lap as well, hoping not to set it out. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of strategy to this, so Alan, absolutely definitely. You say there's not much really between the delta and the tyres as well.
I was having a quick look as well on the earlier on time trial leaderboards, and from the front end sort of post Squeezy Spike is 113 mid to high 113s, and you're looking at the back end of the field being high 115s, low 116s, so there's 2 seconds or thereabouts just over between the whole grid here on time trial, so that will make it interesting with the low tire deltas as well comes into play.
Yeah, they're definitely expecting it to be very close, especially at the front end. Just watching Lambo as he comes back into the pits, deciding to not set a lap time at the moment. Here comes Plaster though through the final corner in the Ferrari, and he goes up to P4. It's still 1.5 seconds down though. A good lap time though, I've just noticed from Jay. Super soft tyres, only 2 times off the Gort's time on hypers. That's a good lap.
1:14.6, very good lap by Jay.
He's been showing some really good pace, especially in qualifying. As you said though, he'd had some internet connections in the US Grand Prix at the circuits of the America. I even tried myself to get him back in the lobby, but couldn't figure out how to do it without leaving myself, which was very frustrating. So he looks like he's been quick, got unlucky at Suzuka, getting caught up with an incident with Squeezy. So he's definitely got good pace, and hopefully he can have a lot better luck this time round, rather than having to have internet issues. But second place at the moment on the Super Softs is going to put him, if he's able to stay in the top 10, in a really good strategic advantage for the race.
He's got Lloyd E there now with a 1:14.9 going into third.
Yeah, so again, lots of light, as you say, that's in the ultra soft tyres as well, so he's obviously looking.
And Steph has set a time on the super soft, so 1:16.8. So
Yeah, he has done as well. So we're going to start seeing more of the cars. We've got just over 10 minutes to go. Plaster coming into the pits. I seem to be missing everyone. I keep forgetting when I'm doing this that I'm actually in control of the cameras tonight. I'm so used to Kieran doing it. So I've got to pick myself back up from that. I'm used to doing that on Sunday nights only. Clifford in the Force India coming through very slowly through the stadium section, so he looks like he's either coming into the pits or lining up for a fast lap. Yeah, he's got full battery, so that's him away to start his first flying lap. So we'll keep an eye out to see where he ends up in a moment.
Just coming up to the S's on his outlap.
Yeah, so Lambo coming up, he's about to start another outlap. Already abandoned one lap, has the championship leader, and obviously lost some time to this man. Poe in the Renault, winner last time in America, cut the cap down in the championship to I think it's around 15 points now. So he's looking really good coming into the tail end of this season, and if he can keep that momentum going, then he could be in for a good chance of winning the championship. It looks to be at the moment between him and Lambo. Spike is still in touch and distance, but needs a good result here tonight to keep himself in the battle. We're just watching Poe coming into the stadium section now through that amphitheatre where the podium section is. He's on the super soft tyres as well, so it'll be interesting to see what lap time he sets here. A couple of yellows in sector 1 and 2, probably people slowing down, and here comes the Renault over the line, and it's a 1 minute.
Excellent time.
1:14.5, less than a tenth off of the Gort's fastest lap. Brilliant lap time. Both Reynolds and Super Sauce looking mighty quick round here.
Renault looking to try and add as many more points as possible to that constructors lead they have by the looks of it.
Absolutely, definitely looking to do that as well. Here is Lambo, he's on the super softs as well, just coming up towards the S's just now. I'll jump back on board again. You can just see just how the speed, he's at half throttle, so it looks like he's decided to back out of this one as well. So I was going to show you just the speed, but yeah. So that's Lambo decided second time to pull out of a lap. Z3 over the line, he's about to start a lap on super softs as well. Just like to see quite a lot of cars on track at the moment. We've only got 5 cars in the pits by the looks of it, and we've got 5 drivers still to set a lap time, but 3 of them are on track just now, so we'll see who can make that one up. 8 minutes to go though here at the Mexican Grand Prix TTL F1. I always trip over that. Around 19 of 21, only 2 more rounds to go after this. The Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos and Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit a week today, and we could be looking at a battle in the desert for the championship depending on how things go at the moment. But keeping an eye on things for now. Spike coming round the last couple of corners on the super soft tyres. He's currently 10th at the moment on the cusp, and he does not improve in his time. That was a slow lap time there from the third place man in the championship. He's obviously maybe winding up for one more go here though on those super soft tyres. He didn't go for the alternate strategy last time, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do this time round.
Spike in the USA, if I remember correctly, showed just that he can do a good drive on the hardest compound tyre to extend that stint. So
yeah, definitely. So he's done it quite a few times as well.
Yeah, the soft softs in America stuck out anyway to me. I know that much.
Absolutely. The Gort's just gone even faster than his pole position time already, so he's just extended that on the hyper softs. 1 minute 14.242. He's now 2.5 times clear of Poe and Jay, as Lambo on the super softs. That's a brilliant lap time. Less than a tenth off for the Gort's latest effort, so he's put himself right up into that top 10 mix on the hardest compound tyre. A really good lap time from the championship leader there as he goes grass cutting and a bit of gardening there across turns 1 and 2 as he makes his way back to pit lane. He's obviously running out of fuel pretty quickly, but brilliant lap time from Lambo on the hardest tyre possible, Alan.
Yeah, it's an excellent lap time. It's not, as I said, not far off the Gort, and the Gort's a quick driver as well, so I think maybe it's interesting that we only see in the top 10, 3 sets of Hypersoft tyres at the moment, so looks like guys are going to try and stay away from that tyre, but we could see the times drop into the high 113s if the guys do decide to put a set of Hypers on and go as well, so Gort's not just safe just yet, I don't think. Interesting though that Siege, Maze and Onyx haven't set lap times yet, or I haven't even seen them leave the pits. As I said, Maze goes out lap there now.
Yeah, yellow flags all around the track at the moment as people slow down to avoid everyone else, so thankfully no one retiring from the session and crashing out, so it's good to see. You've still got all 16 drivers at the moment as Jay is winding it up for another lap. He is now on the ultra soft tyres, looking to improve on his 5th place that he done on the super softs earlier in the session. So we'll see what he can do there, but we've got 5 minutes to go. Quite a wee bit of action still to go. 3 drivers, Maze on his outlap as you said there, Alan, Onyx and Siege. He's left the pits and he is on the ultra soft tyres as well. Maze on the hyper softs. It will be interesting, those hypers are likely to go off very, very quickly, especially if the race, the real life race, is anything to go by. We've seen Mercedes struggling for tyre grip round here.
Sean coming through the stadium section there now on a set of ultra softs, so let's see what he can do. He had his best time on a super so far.
Yeah, he comes round the last couple of corners now on those ultras.
He can't improve, so I don't know whether he's invalidated that lap or he's going for a second. Although he hasn't got the battery to really be going for a second run, so I'd say he'll have to recharge that and go again.
Yeah, the Williams not able to improve on this occasion. Spike is still out there at the moment, although he's cutting across the S's now. He's done 3 laps in those super softs, and there's still a chance he might end up starting the race on them unless he's going to get back to the pits and change onto another set of tyres quickly. So if that goes wrong in his final run, that could prove costly, because he'll have added an extra 3 laps onto those tyres that he may have to start the race on. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens. But we're into the final 3 and a bit minutes, and your top 5 at the moment. The Gort in the pole position at the moment, a 114.2. Lambo in 2nd, just less than a 10th down on super softs. His championship rival Pole in 3rd, 2 tenths down, and that is again on super softs as well. Lighty in the Ferrari in 4th, that was a set of hyper softs, 3 tenths off the pole position time. And the man we're watching now, Jay in the Renault, just shy of 4 tenths down, and that lap he done was on the super softs, but he's currently on ultra softs out on the track as he tries to improve on that time. So he's cutting the chicane as well, so he's not obviously finishing that lap. So there's the interesting point. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
P8 with a 1:14.9 and a set of hypersofts on his one, what looks like most likely to be one and only run.
Yeah, just got that at the end there from the Haas driver, so see if that's good enough to be into the top 10. I would have to imagine probably not.
Has improved this time on a set of ultrasofts as well to a 1:15.6.
Yeah, so improvements going across the board here at the moment. We've got quite a few cars in the pits getting new tyres ready for their final run. So 2.5 minutes to go. This is the big point. Onyx goes into 2nd place now with a time at just 4. Yeah, really good lap. Ultra soft tyres.
It's a good starting tyre for the race as well. It should be able to one stop on that tyre.
Absolutely. 1 minute 14.288, just 4/100ths of a second down on the pole position lap time. You can see there on the screen just now, the top 11 are less than a second between each other as Clifford has retired from the session. I'm just wondering, yellow flag in sector 1, if that might be him. Let's see if we can see the Force Indy anywhere on board with Squeezy.
Yeah, Miles is off to the side of the track.
Couldn't see him anywhere, so but he is now out of the session, so he's going to start no better than 7th place, and he set his best lap on a set of ultra softs. So if he can stay in the top 10, it'll work out not too badly for him, even though he's dropped out of the last part of the session. As we watch Squeezy coming through the S's section in the McLaren, 4th place in the championship. Last couple of races have not been great for the McLaren driver. He's not on a lap at the moment, just bumping the rev limit in 4th gear there coming up to the stadium section, so he's now winding up to have a go, and he is now on ultra sauce.
S section on his outlap, building up to go on another run, see if he can improve.
Yeah, Spike
And
into the stadium.
it's not Paris.
On the Ultra Softs as Z3 retires from the session as well. We've got less than a minute to go now, so this is where it really matters. Can someone improve?
Spike sets off on his flying lap.
And there goes the Salba DRS open down the main straight. Let's see what top speed he can reach as he grabs a little bit of a slipstream from the car in front. 215 miles an hour into turn 1 from the Salba, so good speed there down at the main straight. It's all about grip and speed, so it's a good mix here. The S's, you need to have the downforce to get through that fast, but you still need to be good enough with little drag. As he comes into the first of the two stadium sections. Squeezy now flying. Cars all over the place, so everybody except for, that's still in the session as Siege retires, having not set a time, so he'll start last. But the cars that are still in the session, as the checkered flag falls, there's only 2 in the pits, so we've got about 8 cars on track. Squeezy crossing the line now in the McLaren. He's going to start no more than 10. Pole position at the moment, a 1:14.0. And on the Ultra Softs as well, Onyx couldn't improve in third place, so he is going to be no better than third on Ultra Softs. Here comes the Gort in the Haas into the stadium section. He's got the Toro Rosso, a Lambo ahead. Spike into second, yeah. Ultra Softs for Spike as well. Lambo.
Ultrasoft on the 113.7. That is an excellent lap of the Lambo.
Brilliant lap from the championship leader there as Paul goes second.
Again on the Ultrasofts again, so as you can see, all the front runners favouring the Ultrasofts.
And the only one that can beat that is Jay, who is currently on the Ultra Softs as well, coming through the last couple of corners now. Can the Renault knock the championship leaders out of the front row? He can, he goes pole position. Brilliant lap again. He's becoming a bit of a qualifying specialist as this man, and that is pole position for Jay in the Renault, 1:13.7, with the 2 championship protagonists at the top, Paul and Lambo in third and second respectively. So Renault 1-3, really good for the Constructors' Championship, but brilliant lap from Jay on the Ultra Soft tyres there. Brilliant stuff.
It was an excellent lap there by Jay right at the end.
Absolutely. So there's your standings from qualifying. Jay on pole, 1:13.7. 4 100ths ahead of Lambo in second on the Toro Rosso. Poe in third in the Renault. Squeezy makes fourth. Spike in fifth. So the top 4 in the championship are in the top 5 places in the standings, and then the Gort in 6th. He's on the Hypersofts. The top 5 are on Ultras. Onyx in 7th on Ultrasofts. We've got Lighty 8th on the Hypersofts. Clifford 9th on the Ultrasofts. Maze in 10th on the Hypersofts. And you can see the top 8 separated by less than a second there. So it'll be interesting to see though for those outside the top 10 to see what tyres they start on, but we've got a lot of people in the top 10 not on the softest tyre, starting for the Ultra Soft and obviously going for an Ultra Super strategy so that they only have to stop one time, surely there, Alan.
Yeah, that's I'd say what the thought behind it is the one stop, and I'd say we're going to be in for an interesting battle here, because with Mexico, the length of that's the long straight, and the DRS makes it, once if you're not out of DRS range before the end of lap 2, then it makes it very hard to break away from other drivers as well.
Yeah, definitely. So that long straight, I think, if I remember rightly, I think it's about 1.2 kilometres or something like that. It's really, really long. I think
it's third longest behind China and Baku, I think it is, on the calendar.
I knew there was a stat in there somewhere, I just couldn't remember it. But definitely going to prove, and obviously with the altitude here as well, over 7,000 feet above sea level in Mexico City, that has an effect on the engines as well. Even within the game, that will have an effect. So drivers will need to keep an eye on the temperatures, make sure that they don't overheat the engine. But we're just lining up for a formation lap now, and we're just going to have a look and see the tyres. So top 5 in Ultrasofts, the Gort is on Hypers, Onyx on Ultrasofts in 7th, Lighty Hypers, Clifford Ultras and Maze on Hypers. So they're top 10. They have to start in the tyres they qualified on. Outside the top 10 though, Sean 11th has gone for the super softs, as has Steph and Siege, who are 15th and 16th at the back, while Ollie, Z3 and Plaster have gone for the ultra softs. So no surprises there that none of them outside the top 10 have gone for the hyper softs in the first stint. It'll be interesting to see when those on the hypers come into the pits and how good a start they can get. You get any estimations of when they might be able to need to come into the pits there, Alan?
I was having a look around them earlier on when I was messing about on the game, and I'd done a quali stint on a set of hypers and then went to see how far I could take them now. Bearing in mind I'm on a wheel, I could get 7 laps out of them after quali. So it would take it maybe. Lads on a pad might be looking at lap 5, lap 6. Lads on a wheel maybe lap 7, lap 8 for them hypers to be pitting. Guys starting on the ultras, you'd be looking maybe lap 10 to 12. If they have a quali stint on them, or if the guys in the bottom outside the top 10, the guys on sort of the ultra softs, you'd be looking at lap 16 as their pit window, and the guys on supers would be looking at lap 20, so that they can one stop it.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be interesting to see. There's Dre rolling up to his pole position to get ready to start this race. We've got 36 laps around this track, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. That's a mouthful to say if you've had any tequila as well. But it's going to be interesting because second and third is Lambo and Poe, and then fourth and fifth we've got Squeezy and Spike. So they're your top 4 in the championship, almost in order as we get ready for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. The lights are coming on and we are go, and it looks like Jay's got a decent start there as we're watching Poe at the moment, just backing for Lambo's got a brilliant start though, and he's already challenging for the lead as everyone charges down towards turn 1. Is there going to be any issues under braking? Here goes Poe up the inside of Lambo, and he's going to take the lead. Jay goes for the outside, and Lambo manages to hold off Poe into the second place. Jay in third, and there's Carbon, yeah, they've got contact at the back. We'll keep an eye and see if anyone loses a lot of positions, but Lambo from second place into the lead. Poe's managed to follow him through, and Jay has dropped down 2 places from pole position.
That's there.
We've got a spinner just behind. We'll catch up with now in a wee minute. But we've got Lambo and Poe going through. Jay in third. Onyx is in fourth. Good start from him, up 3 places as well. Squeezy and Spike have lost a place each, and Ollie's up 4 places to 8th as well, as Plaster falling down the field. I'm guessing it may be him, is one that's picked up some damage. But coming through the stadium section for the first time, and it is Lambo, championship leader, leading his nearest rival Poe in second, and Jay in the other Renault in third, playing a bit of a rear gunner for his teammate at the moment, you have to say. He's across the line to complete the first lap.
And importantly, after the first lap, Lambo and Poe are now out of DRS range from Jay. They have DRS still off, well, Poe will still have DRS off Lambo, but they're now going to DRS select out of line, so Jay and the guys following now can't use DRS to stand on the back of them. So great start by Lambo and Poe.
It definitely was. We've got Squeezy and Onyx here, the McLarens all over the back of that Sauber, coming down towards turn 4. Long way round the outside, can't quite do it, and the Sauber stays ahead at the moment, but that McLaren looks a lot quicker just now. Onyx started down in 7th. And Clifford in the pits, so he's one of the, he must have got damage, as you said. There's incidents going on, but still going on. Lap 2 of the race, and we're just keeping an eye on this battle between Onyx and Squeezy. You'll need to really try and make them last though. It's going to be a hard one for him to do even from there. Squeezy though needs to get past Onyx pretty quickly to go after those up front. Yeah, Spike is there as well, so he needs to be careful, but Squeezy needs the points. Absolutely. Squeezy needs as many points as possible to keep his very slim chances alive. He's got the DRS this time now as they come down to... No, he's not got DRS yet, sorry. It's enabled from this next lap. And the Sauber still stays ahead at the moment of the McLaren. But Lambo and Poe, there's less than half a second between them. It was like this at the Circuits of America last time out, but it was the other way around, where it was Poe leading Lambo. And it'll be interesting to see if Poe can get ahead. He needs to make as many points as possible. Clifford has obviously dropped out the session, so hopefully he can get back in. It's not retired yet. His car will be going round as a ghost. Lambo getting a bit wide there through what is turn 7, so that'll have compromised him through the rest of this Essie section, but Poe's not able to do very much to keep with him at the moment. And they come down into the stadium section. It's lap 3 now, and obviously these guys on the Ultrasofts are pulling away from Jay at the moment. He's dropped to 2 seconds behind these guys, so they're out of DRS, but Poe's going to have the DRS down this main straight. So here we go, we could see a pass for the lead in just a moment. We're on board with the Renault, who sets the fastest lap in the process. The battery's up to 4, overtake mode enabled. Here we go. It looks like it's going to be done. Yeah, it's going to be easily done before the corner. And he's through. Poe into the lead. But now...
And Poe will have the DRS as well on the second part to pull him away from Lambo as well.
He does indeed, so that's going to help him this time round. Only one detection point as you come out of the stadium section. So change for the lead up front as Spike, Squeezy, Lighty are nearly side by side coming down to turn 4. Spike's made a number of moves there because he's moved up to 4th. Onyx has dropped right the way down, so something's happened to the other Sauber, and Spike now up in the P4. Squeezy still in P5, but that's not what he wanted. He's seen one Sauber disappear and the other one's appeared in front of him.
Jay picks up a time penalty in this pursuit of catching Lambo and Poe again.
Yeah, so time penalties could come into this, and it did last time out as well. Yeah. So we need to keep...
In Mexico there's plenty of places that you can get warnings and penalties, so...
Absolutely, plenty of run-off here where you can go very wide indeed and pick up penalties. So let's see, Poe now sets the fastest lap, resets another fastest lap. He's nearly out of DRS range, he's nearly 7 times up the road. Lambo's got the DRS, but he's not closing quick enough on that Renault. But here goes Squeezy on Spike into turn 1. And as McLaren got the move done, Spike's going to hold it round the outside though. Lovely defensive driving there from the Sauber.
At the end of the second straight. No,
can't quite do it on this occasion. And here comes Squeezy then, looking again to go past Spike, but it was good right round the outside. Spike held his own despite the fact he had no DRS, but as you can see, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th nearly in the one shot there, so a wee bit of a train developing behind the Sauber at the moment. And for Lighty and Gort, obviously they're on Hypersofts, so we would probably expect to see them in within the next 3 to 5 laps.
Alex has been in as well already, so something must have happened on it in that battle with Spike and Squeezy.
Yeah, hopefully it's not another incident with Squeezy. There's been quite a few of them in the tail run of this season, so hopefully that was not the case this time round. But on to lap 6 now though, and here goes Lambo having a look to see if he can catch up down the straight. He's a lot closer this time with the DRS. And coming up to turn 1, he's going to have to go to the outside this time. Can he brake later than the Renault? He can't at the moment. He's going to try to switch back though to get a better run out of turn 3. He's got the second DRS straight to see if he can get it done into turn 4. But Poe, good traction.
Lambo's teammates E3 getting the run down the start finish straight on the DRS on plaster there. And up at the P14, looking for points to go with the constructors along with Lambo.
Yeah, we're looking to do that. It's Onyx as they're tired from the session. Let's see if we can see what happened there. We've got the ghost car, Clifford coming from. Just going to try and see if I can catch where the Sauber is. And yes, he's off to the side, just at the exit there, minus a wheel, so not what would have been wanted there. And this other Sauber is out of the race, first retirement. These two still going on through the session, through here, as the Gort picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's Lambo and Poe, as they've been for well, since I've been commentating, pretty much every race almost have been pretty close to each other. Been close to each other in the championship, close on the track. So
they usually are close around each other.
Definitely going to be close by. Lambo, I believe, is chasing his first championship as well, so he'll be determined to get past that Renault, but he's not close enough this time round. Nearly outbreaks himself into turn 1. So we come back, there goes Squeezy on Spike down the front straight, and in the background you can see Gort going past Lighty. Squeezy gets the move done, and the Gort gets the move done as well on Lighty, but the Gort runs wide and has to give up the place, so outbreaking himself did the Haas driver, but Squeezy safely made the move done on Spike, and he's finally dispatched the Sauber and up into 4th place. Can he now disappear up the road to go and chase after Jay and see if he can then catch up to the front two of Lambo and Poe? Steph and Sean having a bit of a battle as well here, going through turns 4, 5, 6. But the Mercedes staying ahead at the moment, but Sean will be looking to see if he can get by. Siege is there as well.
Yeah. And Siege will be licking his lips at this now and seeing that these two battling, slowing each other down and then back to him, so he'll be looking for a chance to capitalise on this one.
Definitely so, and Lambo getting it sideways, a bit of drifting action out of the final corner. He won't want to do that because he's still got DRS and he wants to be as close as possible to try and get the move done. You can see that Squeezy's managed to already pull 1.4 seconds away from Spike. Lighty and 6 is a good 2 seconds back, so main battles are here between Poe and Lambo.
Going down the outside of the Lighty, down the straight under DRS. Two cars side by side as they come into corner 1.
Oh, touch of wheels.
Oh, cut the wheels, God backs out of it.
He gets out of with that.
Getting behind, we're looking to capitalise here as well, as it comes up the inside and what else becomes the outside and goes back to the inside, coming around into corner 3.
Yeah, not close enough though.
This time around, not this time around.
So he's going to have to fall back into line at the moment as we come back to... Absolutely. Back with the race leaders at the moment though, and you can see the ghost car of Clifford there just in front, so they won't need to worry about that too much. Hopefully Clifford can get back into the session, but Poe, Lambo, not much between them. There's been less than a second between them the entire race so far since they jumped Dre at the start, who was on pole position. He's in 3rd at the moment, but 5 seconds off in this battle.
Now is the first Hypersoft starter to come in and pit on 7.
Yeah, he's down to 14th place now, so he's the last. Clifford's the last runner, but
take them players all the way from there. Possibly if he's worse.
And Lambo getting. It will be definitely at the end, but Lambo getting very close to Poe there, as maybe the ghost car of Clifford caught him out the Gort into the pits to get rid of those hypersofts as well.
So I'm guessing he's going to try the one stop as well.
Yeah, I think it's got to be the only way you can do it. He's watching Sean at the moment, 8th place. He's got Steph behind him now, so he's been able to make that move. But Sean not using the DRS down this bit, and Steph goes to the outside for turn 4, and he's going to hang it round the outside into turn 5. Hopefully there's no contact. A little bump on the way through, but Steph's through, and that's allowed. Siege is through.
Taking advantage of that as well.
Opportunistic. That was opportunistic from the other Williams there, and Steph has got the two of them all over the back.
I think Steph is going to have Siege attacking that down the start finish straight anyway. And Sean is actually nicely positioned here because he got a double tie down the straight off the two of them.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have the ability, if he can do it, to get past both of them. Poe and Lambo still side by side.
The RF line on Lodi is. Lodi pulls off into the pits. Racing Lodi into the clean air, so. Here
goes Siege. Looking at Steph down the front straight. It's lap 10 of 36 now. And the Williams side by side with the Mercedes. Can he get done? Yes, he's through before the corner, but will the Mercedes try and outbrake him? No, he will not. And Siege is through into 7th place for the moment and got another help in the DRS to get away, but he slides out the corner. Sean's behind, looking to gain another place and put the Mercedes down behind both Williams, but he can't do it on this occasion. So lap 10 off at 36 of the Mexican Grand Prix.
Surge that last lap. He gained 2 places already to his teammate in the Williams and Steph in the Merc.
Yeah, the opportunistic part as well to get through, so he made in a couple of places. Started at the back on the super soft so he can run long.
Coming around to start lap 11 now, and again Lambo will throw in with the RS. I've noticed now as well how easily Paul caught up with Lambo and went by him the first time down the straight with the RS. And Lambo hasn't been able to come back and Paul the same way, so I wonder is he running maybe a little higher front wing, a bit more drag that's stopping him.
It's definitely quite possible. Obviously everyone will have the cars set up in their own way that they prefer. Siege has managed to pull away from Steph and he's now attacking Ollie down the front straight for P6 now, and the Williams and the McLaren harking back to the 90s easily gets through there, and Siege now up to 6th place, dispatching Ollie into turn 1 on the super softs. Ollie on the ultra softs. He's going to try and get the place back down the second straight, but that Williams still has DRS thanks to the detection point and stays ahead. So Ollie down to 7th, Steph still in 8th, Sean in 9th, Z3 rounds out the top 10, and at the moment the stoppers are from 12th down to 15th. The Gort, Lighty and Mays have all pitted and gone on to combination of tyres. Z3 picks up a penalty.
I would say Lloydie is definitely 2 stopping anyway. He's gone on to ultra soft, so he went to the end of lap 10. I would expect to see him back in about lap 23 or so off them ultras for another set of ultras. I'd
imagine so, but look at this down the front straight. Lambo has got Pole going right to the right hand side of the track. Still can't get close enough to get under braking though, but he's got the Renault driver worried enough that he has to go right to the extreme lengths of the track to defend. And here we go down towards turn 4. That Toro Rosso is really close. Can he make a move into turn 4? Nope. Backs out of it for now, so holds on as Steph makes a move on Ollie. He's outbraked himself though. He can hold the position, and the Mercedes makes up a place as Ollie's going backwards at the moment. Very sideways in the way out, but keeps a hold of it. Now, can Sean have a go at the McLaren driver? No, he cannot. So he is holding on for now as Lighty and Plaster, the 2 Ferraris, fighting it out as Lighty goes past Plaster on the newer tyres through the first couple of corners. He's now got the Gort ahead to chase down. But as you say, Lighty surely is not going to be able to make those ultra softs last to the end of the race. Back with the leaders though. Poe's managed to get nearly a second clear of Lambo now, so he's just about got him out of DRS. So he's holding on for now, Lambo. But Poe nearly got the DRS range out the way at the moment, so he's taking some good lap times here. This is of course TTTV giving you live coverage of TTL F1 round 19 from Mexico, and of course TTL F1 brought to you by Weak Wi-Fi Solutions. Make sure to check them out if you're having any problems with your internet connection. Hopefully that will improve your chances of staying in the lobbies when you're racing as well. But it's going to be, these two are just, the fact that these two can stay so close to each other all season is great. It's just amazing.
It's nice to see that. Obviously at the higher altitude, but the air is a little bit thinner, so there's not as much dirty air, but the dirty air doesn't seem to be affecting drivers as badly around here as other tracks in the game, because Lambo seems to be able to stay within sort of half a second of kind of comfortably and not be troubled by dirty air. So
yeah, he's managing to stay close enough, but just not close enough to get a move done at the moment. But these two are 10 seconds clear of anybody else, so when they come round to pitting, that's going to make really good advantage for them, because they're not going to come out too far back when they do make pit stops. Obviously the only ones on super softs outside the top are outside the top 5 as well, over 20 seconds back, so nearly a full pit stop behind, so they could pull out.
Paul work the pit around now, the driver would reckon to drop out maybe just behind Spike, between Siege and Spike.
That's what I was thinking as well. It takes around about 20 seconds roughly to make a clean pit stop, so if they were to pit, it would be nip and tuck between if they come out ahead of Siege or not. But he's chasing down his Steph and Ollie are side by side into turn 1. The McLaren with the DRS trying to go the long way round turn 1, but Steph holds on for now to P7. But Ollie's going to have another shot at DRS, and he's got Sean behind him as well.
Right, to take advantage of one thing there. Fault.
But not able to do anything at the moment, so I think they're playing very cagey, quite a few of the drivers. It's very respectful as well, which is brilliant to see, considering some of the things. Oh, Steph lights the tyres up, nearly loses it coming out of turn 6. But everybody being very clean, very respectful, which, considering some things that have gone on in the community recently, is good to see. We're back out of turn, and Lambo's really close this time as you start lap 15, nearly at halfway distance. The Toro Rosso's got a brilliant run this time down into turn 1. He's got it done before the braking zone. He could stop and have a cup of tea if he wants before he hits the brakes. He's well through there, and that is a move for the lead. It took him a number of laps to get close enough, but he's finally done it, and Lambo is through into P1. Got the DRS to help him out as well, but Poe will be clamping at the bit to try and get back through very shortly. Siege up to P5 though, passing Spike. So it's
down 4-1 with DRS, it looks. And did Sage without DRS again, then out of pulling straight.
He does indeed. So Spike losing another place. Those Ultrasofts 14 laps old, maybe just start to get to the end of their life now, as Siege was on a completely brand new set of Super Softs from the start of the race, so he's got at least another 5 to 7 laps on those tyres yet. But we'll need to keep an eye on the front, because those guys will be coming for the pits before long. So we'll need to keep an eye on where they drop out.
We would expect around the next, or the next lap we will do the Ultrasofts, I think, come in.
Poe's going for the undercut. He's coming into the pits of this lap now. So second place in the championship, second place in the race comes into pit lane, and we'll keep an eye out to see. We're on board at the moment. We'll see what tyres he goes on to. I'd imagine it'll be Super Softs, and it is. The red Super Softs are sitting there, and away goes Poe from the pit stop. So he's dropping down the field at the moment. Squeezy's in the pits as well, as Lambo picks up a 3-second time penalty, and how close those two have been, that could make all the difference at the end of this race, as Poe rejoins the track in 4th place, and Squeezy's being held there on the hyper softs. Now that's got to be a mistake, surely.
That's if it is, it's a strategy choice.
That's surely got to be an error of strategy there, I would imagine. Going on to Hypersofts, they're not going to last for 20 laps. No way. If he makes that happen, I'll buy him a biscuit.
It's going to be two Hypersofts, don't really, isn't it? That's what he's looking at.
You think maybe Squeezy, knowing how far back he is now, has maybe just decided to give it a go and just go for fast laps?
Yeah, Fernando Alonso, that's possibly what he's thinking at this stage. He's probably thinking, okay, I needed a miracle coming into this race to win it. I found myself further down the field than my rivals. Let's have the fun, maybe. That might be his thinking behind it. So
it's quite possibly. Post came out into P4, and I can see rain. I can see rain on the screen, so that's going to spice things up.
And Sean just got Boyali right there as well, around 3 S's.
Now Lambo's pitted, and he's put Hypersofts on as well, so maybe he's thinking he's going to have to pit again for Inters. So
yeah, maybe these guys are onto something.
Possible. Poe goes back into the lead. The undercut very effective there.
He's actually pulled fairly far ahead. 2 seconds he's coming out of the undercut there. So.
Very powerful undercut there as Poe goes back into the lead of the race, and he was behind Siege for a bit of that lap as well. Made the move into turn 1 there as Jay retakes the lead on the ultra soft tyres. Now this could be good for Jay if this rain starts to come down, because if he can stay out for another 2, 3, 4 laps, he might be able to come in and put intermediates on if it gets wet enough. So that could be interesting
as well with these conditions now as well. If the track gets greasy enough, it'll neutralise the difference between each tyre compound and the slicks as well. So.
Definitely. So that's obviously with Lambo going on to the Hypersofts. Maybe he's thinking, I'm going to have to pit. Look at the speed he's got there against Siege coming through the S's. He's really on a charge, and maybe he's thinking, use the grippy tyres, I'm going to have to pit in another few laps for intermediates. Let's just absolutely go for it, because those ultras were maybe completely done.
Championship level now again.
Definitely so, but So Jay now pits, so he's unable to stay out long enough, but we'll keep an eye and see what tyre he goes on to. Maybe he's going to take a gamble if he thinks it's going to get wet enough quickly. But Poe back into the lead, and he's got nearly 2 seconds on Lambo, and Jay's gone for the intermediate, so we'll need to keep an eye on his lap times going forward as Ollie comes into the pits as well, so we'll see what tyres he goes on to. But Jay, the first one to go intermediate tyres.
Down into turn 1.
Yeah, just caught the end of that move from the Mercedes driver, keeping it in one piece, so well done there. Ollie's gone to ultra softs.
Sean's boy Spike as well. Spike's struggling a little bit.
He's spun. I think he's got wing damage. Absolutely, he's in the side of the road. Oh, he's been collected by Z3, and that is Spike out of the race. Oh dear, that could be a safety car. Quite possible. Yeah, Jay's on the end, so we'll keep an eye on that, but Spike out of the race. Looked like he lost it out of turn 3. I wonder if he had a puncture maybe. 17 laps, because he was sliding all over the place.
Yeah, but tyre temps wouldn't have been very nice to him, I wouldn't say at that stage either, anyway.
Definitely, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But Jay's gone for the intermediates. Is that a master stroke, or is it too early? He's ran wide through the S's here, so even on those tyres he's struggling. His Lambo sets the fastest lap on the hypers.
He's closed that gap down now at the pole. He's chasing him.
He is chasing him down. He's gained 4 tenths in that lap alone, but the rain is starting to fall, so how quickly is it going to come down and soak the track? But Siege and Steph and Sean are fighting. Here we go, 3 of them down towards turn 1, and it's Steph in the front with no DRS. Here goes Sean to the outside, and he can't quite do it. It was the Gort just behind him, sorry. And they've managed to avoid contact with each other, but Sean through on Steph, and the Gort is now having a look at Steph as well. Here we go. Will he have a look around the outside? No, he will not. So holding on, but these guys haven't pitted yet, Sean and Steph, and neither has Siege, so this could be very good for them if they only need to pit once for intermediates. That's obviously what Jay's trying, but it's not working at the moment for the Renault, as he picks up a 10-second pine penalty for exceeding the track limit, so that's not going to help him at all. But we're coming through, and
that might be a second over as well, I think.
Quite possibly. Ollie's got past him as well too, so we're watching at the moment as Sean, Steph and Gort and Ollie, Squeezy sorry, are into the stadium section, and there's Lighty got a brilliant view as Jay retires. Jay's retired from the session. We'll quickly have a look and see. He's spun off the track somewhere. He's had enough. Terrible luck. We're back up here.
Paul has pulled out of that 4 tenths one more going in the last lap again.
Here goes Steph and Sean. Nope, not able to get it done. And the Gort tried to stick his nose up as well, and here comes Squeezy to the inside of the Haas driver. He's got the move done. It's going to be interesting. But
Squeezy is 2 places so far.
Oh, that's brave.
Oh, it's contact. He's got away with it, Squeezy.
Yeah, it was very, very opportunistic there. Squeezy's going to get the run now. He's not going to go side by side into turn 7. Oh, he goes across the curbing, but he's kicked.
Just keeping him behind for that day for a minute.
Keep him going. Steph is really struggling on those super soft tyres. Here goes Squeezy to the outside and the hypers. The Gort going for the inside, the Squeezy. Oh, this could end in trouble.
He's just sitting hoping one of them take each other out.
Definitely so. Steph is struggling. He's going to go for the pits surely. Oh, jeez, he nearly lost it. He's going to try one more. Maybe he's hoping to go for the inters and only make one stop. The Gort goes to the inside.
He could lose all the positions here in the space of a lap.
Gort holds on to that place. So, yeah, Steph seems to be struggling now on those super softs with the greasy track conditions. Worn tyres, greasy conditions will not be helping that Mercedes at all, and Lighty will be lining him up next for a move. And oh, that's late on the brakes from Lighty, the touched, but oh, just getting away with it. Hopefully no damage. Steph really struggling on those tyres. But Squeezy, but he's now chasing after Sean and the Williams. And Squeezy's definitely got the grip at this point. You can see those Hypersofts really working much better at the moment in these conditions. Sean on 20 lap old Supersofts, and Squeezy's going to have the move done before they come into the stadium section. Lovely move there from the McLaren driver, but we need to watch Sean as he's going to have the DRS. So
God looking to get Sean here now as well behind.
Indeed, the GOT is all over the back of that Williams, and the Williams goes for the pits. So Sean's had enough of those tyres, he's into the pits now. We'll see if Steph joins him in a minute. As Lighty's got by Steph as Sean, and Steph pits as well. Yep, so they're both into pit lane. 21 laps they've managed. So Siege is the only one still not to pit yet. On his 22nd lap on Supersofts. That's a good run there from the Williams driver.
Yeah, very good. I don't think you would see him going much more. Maybe the lap he could extend the form. Maybe I would think he would have to come in. So. Track doesn't really look like it's getting greasy enough for English. It looks like the rain is still there, but it looks like the track is staying fairly just the sort of damp conditions. There's no surface water gathering.
It doesn't look like it, as you say, it doesn't look like it's wet enough for wet weather tyres of some description just yet, which will be why those hypers are working so good though, with a softer compound, just able to get the temperature into them much quicker.
Yeah, and the damp track will keep the temperatures down from overheating, so that may help Lady Lambo down a little bit longer than London as well.
He's not gained much more though, Lambo. He's 1.8 seconds behind Poe. A couple of laps ago it was 2.4, so he's gained a little bit, but he's now at the point where he's only gaining a little bit and not much more than that as Siege goes on for another lap. So he's going to do at least 23 laps in those Supersofts. Brilliant run at the moment from him. Squeezy's up to 4th on the Hypersofts. The McLaren pulled away from the Gort in 5th, Lighties in 6th. Mays, not seen much of him in this race, pitted early doors. Get rid of the Hypersofts. He's on Supersofts that are 15 laps old now. He's in 7th, so it'll be a heck of a job for him to go the rest of this race if it's not good enough for wets. He's in 8th.
I was thinking maybe the Inters would have been the tyre at the end there and the selection of that. That's the strategy, I think, as well. I think a few drivers might be getting caught out here by it not getting wet enough for Inters.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if someone feels it's wet enough, and if it then proves to be the right tyre, who goes on it at the right time. That is going to be the key point of people getting either the chance to win this race or to take that final podium spot and some good points for their championship. Rounding out the rest of the top 10, Ollie's in 8th. You can see Sean there in 9th place, and Steph is now 10th place. He was also a bit further up, but those Supersofts just went away from him before the pit stop, but he's still in the points at the moment. He's about 6 seconds clear of Plaster in 11th, with Z3 in 12th, and we can see Clifford still on track, but that is a ghost car and he's not in the session, so if that does finish he will not score points unless he gets back in. But Poe here looking nice at the top at the moment.
Oh, Z3 has lost it. Z3 has lost it coming through the S's.
Ah, Jeremy. I'm going to see that in a minute because we're on board with Poe. See if we can see that Toro Rosso somewhere. It looks like it's already been cleared, but Z3 out of the race, and there he is, the car just to the right hand side, missing its front left wheel, and that's the Toro Rosso out of the race, so not a good one for him. And you can see going through the S's though.
That's a sign that it's getting slippy enough now that the cars are starting to slow down.
Well, Plaster's pitted and put the intermediates on in 11th place.
Is that the right call for him, Passer?
So we'll keep an eye and see if that is, but it could be that it's getting slippy enough now for the intermediate tyres. You noticed it as well with Poe. We were on board with Poe there, going through the S's, and you could see he was half throttling it through some points that would normally be full throttle, so it's definitely slippy out there, and it could soon be time for intermediates. There's about 12 laps to go, 11 laps to go, sorry, but keep an eye on this man, Plaster in the Ferrari. He's a lap down now in 11th, but he's on the intermediate tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if they are proven to be good enough in the right tyre. Lighty making a move.
Sage putting on ultra soft, so this is interesting now. You've got Plaster putting on inters and you've got Sage putting on ultras.
That's definitely a different kind of strategy than I was expecting there. Got Ollie here and Sean down the front straight. DRS for both of them by the looks of it. Who's going to get the move done into turn one? The Williams is ahead in a McLaren and on the brakes. Gets through. Lovely move there from Sean. He's on the fresher tyres by 4 laps, so that is a good one. And Z3 in the chat, I'm just trying to make that out. Onyx has been out of the race, so I don't know what was going on there, but we'll come back to that in a bit and see what's going on. But Mays has gone on to intermediates as well now, so we've got 2 drivers that feel that intermediates are the right tyre to be on now, so they are in 10th and 11th, so keep an eye on them.
What's going to be interesting with Sage, if other drivers around him are taking intermediates and he's just put on another set of slicks.
It's definitely been a strange one for Siege, considering it's starting to rain. I know the tyres must have been nearly dead. He's done 3/4 of the race almost on them, but with the rain, maybe he's thinking it's not going to rain enough to need intermediate tyres. And anyway, his Lighty's pitted from 5th place on the Ultra Softs. The rain might have been the best thing for him. It's hypers for the Ferrari, so
so there was another driver sticking on slicks, so
we're seeing we're seeing difference in strategies for sure. We've got 10 laps to go now, and you can see on the screen the rain is coming down even more, but Poe still leads by 2.5 seconds.
Standing water on the track, Andy, as well, which I've noticed. So usually when there's no standing water on the track, you don't really need the grooves of the wet weather tyres. The slicks will still perform on the damp surface if there's no standing water.
Absolutely, and just going through the final corner there, Poe lapping Mays on the intermediates, and that Haas was struggling to get the power down. So it could be, as you just said there, that the track, although greasy, is just not enough at the moment for Inters, and we might be able to get to the end of the race without it. But Lambo picked up another 3-second time penalty, so once again Poe with no time penalties, and Lambo 3 seconds down has got at least 6 seconds worth of them. So even if he gets ahead, he needs to pull at least 6 seconds clear at the moment to ensure that he takes the win. So it's looking good for Poe at the moment. He just needs to keep it on the track.
It's Squeezy there in 3rd place as well, picking up good points.
Yeah.
Maybe the win might be got out of his reach, but in his current finishing position, it's going to give him an advantage anyway in this battle for 3rd place with Spike. So.
Yeah, that's basically, I think, what he's going to be looking at now as Steph makes a move on Ollie into turn 1. Squeezy on the hypers there. He's going to have to make them last a good bit, nearly 20. Oh, Poe, 3-second time penalty. So that nearly evens the playing field now between those two. But Lambo is dropping back, so those hypers must be going off now on that Toro Rosso. So we need to keep an eye on Squeezy as well, because he's been on those tyres for 11 laps, same as Lambo, and the Gort, although it's 18 laps in the Super Softs, is seeming to catch him up now, so need to keep an eye on that, because the last podium spot could still be up for grabs just now. But it's lap 28 and Poe is looking in a really good position, 4 seconds clear of Lambo, you can see there in the background, and Lambo has an extra 3-second time penalty in comparison to the race leader, so it's technically a net 7 seconds that the Renault is clear at the moment. Squeezy's in 3rd.
Lambo and Squeezy are still out there on the Hypersofts, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
11 laps. I know, yeah, fair enough, the damp conditions will help them a little bit, but they surely they're dropping time drivers around in the stage. As you can see, the Gort closing up on Squeezy and Howard pulling away from Lambo.
Yeah, and definitely so. I mean, it's got to be at the point now, being close to the end of the race, that you either hope that everybody has to pit for Inters, or you just take the chance, because if especially Squeezy, if he pits now, he is going to drop outside the top 10 nearly, or he's going to drop to the bottom end of it at least, whereas at the moment he's in 3rd, and if he can hold on and keep the laps up, he might just hold on.
Lambo is in the pits now. So
Lambo, yeah. This will be an interesting call.
Lambo is safely ahead of Squeezy to know he's come back out in 2nd place, but he's got a 5-second stop-go penalty by the looks of it. So
indeed, he's stopped.
Lambo.
Ultrasofts.
This is going to be where is Squeezy? Squeezy's coming around the last corner now.
He's coming in as well.
He's
So
coming in, so
those hypers have had
will
it.
get back out in second place then.
Yeah, Lambo needed that, so he's now just damage control, and he's realised the tyres are going off then, and it's not wet enough, so there you go. Pole now 33 seconds clear, up in the lead of the race. The Gort goes into third place with Squeezy coming into the pits. Siege moves up to fourth, Sean up to fifth, Steph into sixth, Ollie takes seventh, and Squeezy will come out in eighth place behind his teammate on a new set of ultra soft tyres. Ninth place is Lighty on 3-lap old hypers, and then you've got Maze in 10th place, the last point on the intermediates, but it doesn't seem like they are working at all with Plaster on intermediates in 11th, and he is the last runner. Clifford is showing his 12th and running, but Clifford has been unfortunately disconnected from the lobby, unable to get back in, so that is a ghost car and technically a DNF. But Pole looking good to narrow that gap in the championship from 15 points down to 8 points heading into the next round in Interlagos in Brazil on Thursday night, which you'll be able to see here once again on TTTV. I'll be in the booth on Thursday night for that race at Interlagos, and it could then lead to a championship showdown in Abu Dhabi a week today. Kieran will be back for that one as the Gort comes into the pit, so 20 laps in the super softs have been too much for him, and that puts Siege into P3 in the Williams, and having started last, that's a brilliant race from him. He's kept out of trouble, and he'll be happy to keep that if he can stay on the track for the last 6 laps.
Yeah, I think Sage he's done a brilliant job. He's got the strategy right. He's got his one stop. He's worked it well, and the rain hasn't put him off. Actually, talking about the rain, looks like it's in certain parts of the track. It looks like it's eased off, and the track is dried a little bit. But when you come into the turns 4, 5, 6, 7 section, you actually start to see a bit of spray off the tyre. So that looks like it's getting a bit wetter in that section. But other sections look like it's drying out a little bit. So drivers, we could be in for an interesting end as Lowry disconnects and rejoins.
Yeah, thankfully the Ferrari driver able to get back in, but he's got the Gort all over him now, so you'll need to keep an eye on that. Lighty is still showing as a ghost car though, so that's going to be an easy.
Plaster back in the pits as well to get rid of the winter, so as I said, it does look like it's drying up in certain parts of the track.
Yellow flag in sector 1, I think that's due to the ghost car, maybe a Plaster, because he's not quite regained control of that car just yet. And there's Maze on those new hypersofts trying to unlap himself from the Williams of, I believe that is Sean that he's there. Yep. Right. That's a lap down because Maze is in 10th. Lighty's regained control of his car by the looks of it, so that's good to see. And here goes Steph though and Squeezy. Oh, it's nearly bumper cars down the straight as Ollie pits. Steph trying round the outside off Squeezy. Squeezy's got the fresher tyres. Steph just got the run there.
Put the corner a little bit there as well, Squeezy, so you might have got a warning for that top.
I think he's already got all. He's gone for the intermediate tyres, so he thinks it's wet enough, and that's interesting. Because Maze and Plaster just pitted to get rid of intermediates a couple of laps ago.
As you can see there on the back of that McLaren there of Squeezy, there is spray off the back of the tyres now as they come through that section.
Yeah, so it's a couple of laps to go. We've got 5 laps to go now. And look at the gap up front. It's 26 seconds, but a couple of laps ago when Lambo pitted, that was nearly 35.
Yeah, that's come down significantly. You want to keep an eye on that gap. At the moment, the closest battle on track is Squeezy, just closing up onto Sean there at the moment. And he's got down the straight now, he hasn't got DNS, but he is closing on the one with it. Slipstream. And he's going to have a look down the inside. The McLaren driver makes it stick. Is the Williams driver Sean going to hang around the outside now? Tucks in behind. It's a good move by Squeezy. I think the 4th place. Oh, God, and maybe they're closing in on Steph as well, with two guys on ultra softs. And Lambo now is down to 23 seconds to pole, so he's closing that gap down rapidly. I think he might be having problems with their mic there, Andy.
But that's better.
Yeah, there you go. It was just a bit cracked out. It was cracked out there for a minute or so.
No problem. Thank you for pointing that out to me, mate. It sometimes happens with the connection into the controller with the jack, yeah. So yeah, it's one of the annoying things that I have to put up with. But I think Lambo's going to run out of laps. Poe's now into lap 34 to 36, so 3 to go, including the one he's on. Yeah. And the gap might be down to... He's definitely closing though, Lambo. He's got good speed, but he's got extra penalties, of course. He's got at least an extra 3 seconds, so it's technically a 24-second gap. So we're watching the Gort now. Right behind the Mercedes is Steph. This is for 6th place, closest battle on the track. They're coming through the Essie section. They're on lap 33 still, as they are a good bit behind. They are nearly a full minute behind the race leader, and the Gort running wide onto the AstroTurf there to get the power down. They're side by side touching wheels coming into the stadium section. Oh, they've hit!
Onto the foot again, and the Gort goes through and stuff.
He goes through.
In behind. He's going to look for the toe down the start finish straight.
Yeah, he's going to try to. Thankfully, no damage to the front wing of that Mercedes either. So that's good to see that that is the case, as Ollie picks up a wee 3-second time penalty down in 9th, the only driver on the intermediates, but he's got 45 seconds to Mays behind him, so he's pretty safe no matter what he does. Here comes Steph, turn 1, but nope, not good enough on this occasion. So it's looking good for Poe.
It isn't it, but telling me as well for the drivers that went on to intermediates, the chance that they ran at some point. The stewards, the race stewards in game have not decided DNS at all in the race. So the game itself hasn't recognised its weapon for Inters at all in this race.
It's a good point you make there, because that's usually a good indication if the track is wet enough.
Yeah. That's usually an indicator a lot of drivers use.
It's a very good one. Yeah, it's definitely a very good one when the virtual Charlie Whiting decides to disable the DRS, and it's not happened, and we're now on to lap 35 of 36 for the leader. Lambo's got the gap down to 18 seconds, but as I say, he's not got enough laps to do it. If this was a 40 lap race, who knows, as Steph picks up a 3-second penalty. Got to ask you, coming into the end though, Alan, in your opinion, who would be your driver of the race?
For me it has to be Sage. He's there, 3rd place. He seems comfortable. That's going to be his finishing position as long as he keeps it on the track. And it's been a good drive, solid one stop. He's stopped at the right time, and he's not let the wet weather phase him and affect his decision making either. So all around solid drive decision. It looks like he's going to pick himself up the podium from him.
Yeah, I've totally agree. Good race from him, good in the strategy, only needing to make the one stop, as you say, from the super soft. Started at the back in the last row, so he'll be really happy if he can keep this together for the last 3-4 miles to get around the last lap. The leader is on the last lap now, coming into turn 1, Poe. He's got a 15.9 second gap to Lambo behind, so he's comfortable.
One-stop drive from Poe as well, another good one-stop drive from Poe as well.
He's managed to make the strategy work. Lighty having the problems leaving the session again. He needs to get back in the lobby before his car crosses a line that he won't get any points for it, so hopefully he can get back in control of that car before the end. But it's been a good race for Poe as he's sliding his way through turns 5, 6 on those super soft tyres. 20 laps he's done on them in these greasy conditions. but it's been a brilliant drive from Poe. Lambo is on the second place. He's on the Ultra Soft. He's done 2 stops, so went on to the Hypers probably thinking he needed to go to the Inters at some point. Didn't work out. Track didn't get wet enough, so he is going to finish in second, it looks like. And Siege, as we were just talking about, good drive from him. He's just starting his final lap now. But into the stadium section and around the last couple of corners for the last time, and it is 2 wins in a row for TTG Poe, and he cuts the lead in the championship down to just 8 points. He wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Lovely race from him, and he narrows that gap to this man here, Lambo, coming across the line in second place. He's got the McLaren Ollie just ahead, but it's a lap down, and Lambo finishes in second, but his championship lead has been reduced again, and it is now 8 points if my calculations are correct. Here comes Siege though on the Williams, third place. Brilliant drive from back of the grid, 1 stop, made the conditions, the tyres work, and didn't get phased by the conditions, and it's a brilliant podium from the Williams driver. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that one. You've seen Clifford's car cross the line, but he's not rejoined. Squeezy takes 4th, good points from him, and his battle with Spike, who got knocked out of the race earlier on after a collision on the track with Z. I think it was Z. No, it wasn't Z3, but he got hit by somebody. I think it was Dre. I can't remember. But yeah, terrible luck for him. Sean comes through in 5th. He was at the back of the grid, so he'll be happy with that as well. The Gort, 6th place, and here comes Steph into the wall on the way out in the last corner, but he finishes in 7th. Doesn't matter anymore. And the last guy on the track at the moment is Lighty, and I do think he got control back in that car. Yes, he did indeed, I think so. So that's good for him. For some reason it says he finished in 1st, but he didn't, so that's a glitch if I ever seen one. He came over, I think that was 8th place he was in, but we will get that confirmed, we'll get it all checked. So that went as a glitch. You see the Ferrari on the top of the podium, but that is not correct. That is the game glitching slightly there. So the man on the left hand side in the black and yellow is Poe, and he is your race winner, with Lambo in second, Siege in third. The glitch has put Lighty into first, even though he was in 9th and about a lap down. So there you go. If you knew you could win the race that way, I think everybody would do it. But been an interesting race, so Alan, with the wet conditions. We're just going to go through the results as they come up on the screen in a second. As I say, ignore that top one there, because Lighty was not first, unfortunately, dropped out of the session.
He was just ahead of Ollie P, so he was 8th.
So your official, unofficial results are: Poe is first, Lambo second, Siege in third, Squeezy takes 4th, Sean 5th, the Gort was 6th, I believe Steph was 7th, with Lighty 8th, Ollie in 9th, and Mays rounding out the points in 10th place. Plaster was in 11th, the last runner. Clifford shows as 12th, but he disconnected early on in the race. And retirements from Z3, who crashed out. Dre collided with Spike after Spike lost control, and Onyx, who left the session and crashed out early doors in the stadium section. So very good race there, but Poe narrows the gap in the championship down to just 8 points to Lambo. But a really good race from Siege. And I've got to ask you, Alan, how did you find your first time commentating?
Yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. If you want, I'll be back in the box with you again on for Thursday's Brazil.
You're more than welcome to, my friend, not a problem at all. We're going to see who sticks around in the lobby and see if we can get a few of them into the chat for a quick bit in Commentators Corner. So if you are sticking around, we'll be back with a fresh stream in a minute for that. If you are leaving us just now though, we'll be back on Thursday night for round 20, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Be with myself, and it sounds like Alan will be joining me for that one as well. And then on Saturday evening we've got another cup event. It's TTGaming against AMZ Q, and a one-off first of 2 races that they're taking part in. So the first one is this Saturday at 8:30. I'll give you more details on Thursday if you're leaving now. But if you are leaving, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the coverage here on TTTV. We will be back in just a moment with Commentators Corner. If you are sticking around, we'll see you shortly.